Swipe Up, episode 227, the podcast where I share my unfiltered thoughts on the latest news and entertainment updates. I'm your host, Ray Taylor. 10 symptoms of the woke mind virus. Now, for all that are aware, I'm sure, if you exist on this planet, especially in the United States, the conservatives they weren't concerned whatsoever with an actual virus that was responsible for a global pandemic. That could not have concerned them anymore because that threatened the lives of businesses, and that was the only thing that they were really concerned about was businesses that were going to be dying, not the million-plus human beings that died. That they couldn't care less about the million plus people that have died from a real virus that killed real people. The only thing that they were concerned about were the businesses that died during that time, as they do. You know, property, business, capitalism. Those are the things that they've been brainwashed to care about. All the things that the majority of poor conservatives will never have in their life. But the one virus that they are concerned with is the imaginary virus that their propaganda networks have labeled the woke mind virus, right? Because the term virus has now become part of their vocabulary after a few years of arguing about the lack of effects, the ridiculous nature of a real virus that was really killing people, right? Just the term virus has now been is a word that they now have used, right? They've gone through years of training of the vocabulary. The new vocabulary term has now been added to their lexicon, right? So, and wokeness is the thing that they are so scared about. The idea of being awake in some way is something that they are so fearful of, and seemingly more fearful of than any real harm that could befall them. And here are the symptoms. If you are wondering if maybe you have been infected by the woke mind virus, the first symptom that you may have the woke mind virus, number one, is you read books and don't burn them. If you are reading books and you are not burning books, if you are not actively suppressing literature from going on shelves to be read, then you may be infected by the woke mind virus yourself. Number one, if you read books and you're not burning them, you probably are woke. Number two, the second symptom of this devastating virus known as the woke mind virus is that you embrace science. All of these people who've dedicated their lives to discovering and clarifying the answers to our reality around us, instead of reading an old fiction tale and assuming you know the answers because you have an indefinable faith in your beliefs of the way things are and the way things work. If you actually embrace the reality that we have understood and uncovered through an exhaustive procedure of experimentation and replication via experiments, if you embrace science, then you yourself may be victim. You may have been infected with the woke mind virus. Let's move on to the third symptom. Number 3. You're willing to change your mind when new information becomes available. This is an important one. This is something that I noticed during the pandemic. This is something that I've noticed over the past 5 to 10 years, where despite new information about people and things coming out, being brought to light, uncovered, the truth coming out, exposed, there are a group of people who are unwilling to change their opinions and thoughts. They dig their heels in and stand firm. And it is safe to say that those people who have stand firm, dug their heels in, and refused to change despite new information are free and most likely not infected by the woke mind virus. Whereas if you are a person, let's say, who used to be a fan of Joe Rogan and the Joe Rogan podcast, and given new information about where Joe Rogan stands on many issues, in addition to his stance on science, the embrace of science, and the embrace and acceptance of a virus that has literally killed over 1 million people in this country, to realize that he himself has dug his heels in, that he himself is a defender of many right-wing ideals. He is somebody who regularly, from his own words, his own stance, his own opinions, is regurgitating the many untruths that are regurgitated and dispensed through the many right-wing propaganda news networks. There are a lot of people who are unwilling to see Rogan as anything other than their granddaddy of the freak party. Whereas myself and many other people, because we have been given this new information, we see who Joe Rogan is and has become over the years, and maybe was like all along, have changed our opinions and no longer wish to consume his bullshit regardless of what celebrities he may have on. Because maybe we're tired of listening to him regurgitate these right-wing talking points as if kids are actually taking shits in litter boxes in classrooms, where he lied about having a friend in the schools where they had to install litter boxes for students, which is absolute and complete bullshit. Where he gets on scientists who are trying to promote their books and to do so gain popularity by going against mainstream science to promote the worthless effectiveness of dewormer. It's absolutely amazing. So if you yourself has maybe changed your stance on people, maybe you understand there are nuances and don't blindly worship a politician. You don't buy the merch of a politician just because they happen to be running for the political party that you happen to vote for. That you can still criticize them and hold a magnifying glass to their actions and not be happy with them just because they're on, quote-unquote, your team. You yourself might be victim to the woke mind virus. If you are willing to change your mind when new information becomes available. Third symptom. Moving on to the fourth symptom of the woke mind virus. You may have the woke mind virus if you understand that most issues are not black and white. This going back to the nuance. The nuance. Let's say, for instance, Joe Biden, somebody that I voted for. But do I own Joe Biden merch? Do I think he's a hero? Do I think he's a superhero? Do I think that he is doing everything in the best interests of the people? No. I think Joe Biden is very conservative. Very conservative. Even to the point where he has appointed conservative judges in order to gain favor with conservative members of Congress. It is kind of disgusting in a lot of ways. He promotes and reaffirms this notion that enhancing police budgets is somehow going to make this country safer. That somehow the police are going to uphold law and order, which I find ridiculous. absolutely ridiculous, right? A group of people who are constantly getting their budgets raised to slaughter unarmed men, women, and children, to they burgle, they steal from the American people more than any other criminal. Police forfeitures. So there is quite a bit of nuance when it comes to my opinions and why I would vote for Biden over the pathological failure that has been Trump in every aspect of his life. A man who, like, you can't define success as a business person if every business you started has to file for bankruptcy. You cannot claim somebody is successful who has never actually won the popular vote in the 2 elections he took place in. You can't label somebody as successful if they can't even overthrow the government. He has failed on every front. So why would, if my choices are a future somebody who aspires to be the first American dictator, or somebody that I think is just way too conservative for the direction I want this country to go, I'm going to go with the guy who's at least sane on some level, despite the fact that, yeah, he's way too old. There's a lot of problems with him, but at least there's like minute signs of like trying to do good. So anyway, number 4, you may have the woke mind virus if you understand that most issues are not black and white. If you understand the term nuance on any level. Moving on to the 5th sign, the 5th symptom that you may have the woke mind virus, and that is if you believe in true equality for all people versus the war that seems to be going on from conservatives who don't think women should have autonomy over their own body. They think they label with zero proof or evidence ever presented that anybody who has a sexual preference other than straight is somehow evil to society, is bad for society, is bad for children. Because they're different, they don't deserve to be married. They don't deserve to have rights. They don't even deserve to be able to exist. They don't deserve to be acknowledged as humans, right? They don't feel comfortable acknowledging their existence to children. Imagine that. Imagine if things were changed. Imagine if we turned the tables, and imagine in this country we tried to keep children from acknowledging the existence of straight Christian people, where you could talk about the existence of straight people. You could talk about the existence of Christians, but not Christians who are also straight. The kids aren't prepared, right? Because the thing that straight Christians believe in, they believe in a book that is full of rape and abuse and murder, mass murder, by the way. Like, God has killed more people than Hitler ever could have imagined. Right? You want to talk about somebody that's not very pro-life. Let's talk about the entity that killed everything in existence except for whatever was on this one dude's boat. So if you don't believe that everybody should be equal, then you may have the woke mind virus. Let's move on to the 6th symptom. It's very simple, this symptom. If you have this compassion, if you have this feeling to do this one thing, that you may have the woke mind virus. Coming in at number 6 is you like to share. You like to give. Oh, I have enough for me. Would you like some? It's a crazy concept, very basic in its form, can really be implemented in all kinds of ways, whether it be food, money, housing, safety, access to healthcare, access to basic fundamental needs for life. You know, if you have a problem with sharing, if you exist in a selfish place where you think the world and the universe revolves around you, then you probably don't have the woke mind virus. But if you are somebody that likes to give when you feel you've had all you need, that could be a sign that you are infected with the woke mind virus. So the sixth symptom is you like to share. Moving on to number 7, the seventh symptom that you may have the woke mind virus. You embrace cooperation, which in many ways goes hand in hand with sharing. Being able to cooperate with your fellow man is another sign that you are not selfish. Is another sign that the world, the universe, does not revolve around you. That you realize that we're all in this together, and that it's good that your fellow man is able to help, and that you can both work together to execute and provide help and do good things in the world. So number 7 is that you embrace cooperation. Number 8. The 8th symptom is that you respect others' rights. Kind of goes along with, the equality for all people. But, if you feel that other people shouldn't have the right to get married, shouldn't have the right to drive down the street without being harassed by the police or murdered by the police, or even having the police break into your home to kill you while you're asleep in your own bed for no reason. Like, if you think that only you have the right to be protected from that, but other people should stop resisting, maybe, like, if you think that other people should have the same rights, then you may have the woke mind virus. I'm sorry, you might. Number 9, that you believe culture and its arts have value. Right? The movies, the music, the things that are brought to our culture from the many people. Like, all of these things have value. And to remove things like books, to remove things and to censor things like music and movies and art, that is not somebody who has the woke mind virus. But if you think all of those things are important, if you think those things have value, then you might have the woke mind virus. And the last symptom that you may have the woke mind virus is that you care for the planet and all of its life. A crazy thing. It's a crazy thing that people exist in this world without care or compassion for other life. But it happens all the time because they value profit, they value businesses, right? Profit over people is a big aspect of America. And it's held up and promoted and defended by all of the worst people. So number 10, if you think the planet and all of its life should be cared for and we should give a shit about it, then you may have the woke mind virus. So if you have all those symptoms, please, this is one of those viruses where I want people who are infected to be on my side, to be subscribing to this show. And for all those who have been able to avoid catching this virus, go subscribe to Joe Rogan for all I care. Go subscribe to InfoWars. And stop crying in my comments.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.